My name is Sienna Cole, 29 years old. Last Wednesday night, I was standing at our kitchen sink in Seattle, wrists deep in sudsy water, trying to scrub baked cheese off a casserole dish when my boyfriend decided to tell me how replaceable I was. The apartment was quiet except for the low murmur of the TV in the living room. The overhead light flickered every few seconds because the building was old and our landlord was cheap, but Logan kept saying, "It's fine, babe, it's vintage." I stared at the streaks on the glass and thought, vintage doesn't mean broken. We'd been together for 3 years. We lived in this two-bedroom place with gray walls and mismatched furniture I'd mostly bought secondhand off Facebook Marketplace. I worked in digital marketing. Logan worked in sales. We'd been talking about rings and venues and our future like it was a given. Until that night. The argument started with a notification. My phone buzzed on the counter. Chase alert, 1017.43, purchase, Lux timepieces. I frowned. Logan? He was on the couch, feet up, scrolling through Instagram. Yeah? Did you buy something from Lux timepieces? He didn't even look up. Yeah, why? I dried my hands, grabbed the phone, and walked over. Because we're supposed to be saving for a wedding and a down payment. Remember that little spreadsheet we made? The one you said stressed you out so you didn't want to look at it? He rolled his eyes and finally paused his scrolling. Babe, relax. It's a watch. It's a $1,200 watch, I said, tapping the notification. We just talked about cutting back on luxuries. You're the one who said, let's go hardcore for the next 6 months so we can get out of this apartment. He sat up, offended. Okay, and? I work my ass off. I deserve something nice. I'm not saying you don't, I said, trying to keep my voice even. I'm saying we had a plan. I turned down a trip with my friends last month because we decided to prioritize savings. He stood and walked into the kitchen, that familiar look on his face, the one that meant he was about to make this my fault. Normal couples fight about money, he said. This is normal. You're just making it into a thing. It is a thing, I said. You can't blow over $1,000 on a watch when we're barely on track with our savings and then act like I'm crazy for caring. He braced his hands on the counter, leaning in. You're obsessed with control, Sienna. It's always a chart or a budget or a conversation. You don't know how to just let things be. I felt heat crawl up my neck. Let what be? Overdraft fees? He huffed a sharp laugh, the kind that wasn't funny at all. You know what? You should be grateful you even have someone who wants to build a life with you. I could replace you in 24 hours. The air left my lungs in a weird, ugly rush. I blinked. What? He straightened, ran a hand through his perfectly styled hair, and smirked at me like he was auditioning for a cologne commercial. I'm serious, he said. I could post right now that I'm single and there'd be women lining up. I'm not exactly hurting for options. You act like you're doing me this huge favor by being here. Newsflash. I could replace you in 24 hours. Easy. Something in me snapped, but not loudly. It was quiet, clean, like a thread finally giving way after being pulled too tight for too long. I turned off the faucet, dried my hands slowly on the dish towel, and looked at him. Okay, I said. He frowned. Okay, what? Prove it. He laughed. It was that specific cruel laugh he used when he thought he'd already won. What are you talking about? You said you could replace me in 24 hours. Prove it. We're done. Clock starts now. I picked up my phone, pressed the side button, and lit up the screen. 7:23 p.m., Wednesday. For a second, his face went through about 6 emotions. Confusion, amusement, annoyance, anger, and then that smug confidence that had always made my stomach twist. You're bluffing, he said. You're not going anywhere. You can't even match your socks without me. You literally cried for an hour when the Wi-Fi went out. I walked past him toward our bedroom. I cried because the Wi-Fi bill was in my name and you forgot to send me your half for 3 months. He followed me down the hall. Where are you going? Apparently, I said, opening the closet and pulling out my suitcase, away from someone who thinks I'm replaceable in a day. Sienna, stop, he scoffed. You're being ridiculous. No, I said, yanking open my dresser drawer. Ridiculous is adding yourself as an authorized user on my credit card and then buying a $1,200 watch while we're supposed to be saving. He crossed his arms, leaning in the doorway like he had front row seats to a drama he thought he'd written. You're overreacting, he said. Your mom likes me more than you, by the way. Good luck explaining this to her. She literally tells me I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you. I shoved jeans into the suitcase. If that were true, it would say more about me than you. You're nothing without me, he snapped. I'm the one who pushed you to ask for that promotion. I taught you how to negotiate. I make you look good at events. Your entire life is better because of me. That one made me pause, not because it hurt, but because I realized he genuinely believed it. I turned, holding a stack of t-shirts. My life is better because I worked my ass off. You just like to take credit. He scoffed again. You can't do this. Where are you even going to go? Jade's place? She doesn't have room for you. You'll be back in 2 days, tops. I zipped the first suitcase. Everything that mattered from 3 years of my life with him fit into 2 suitcases and a backpack. That realization burned more than his insults. While Logan paced and muttered, I grabbed my phone and opened my messages. Me. Hey, Jade, can I crash at yours tonight? Logan and I are done. Long story. 3 dots blinked almost immediately. Jade. You can have my bed. I'll take the couch. Get out of there. I'll have wine ready. I swallowed the lump in my throat and typed back a quick, on my way soon. See, Logan said, watching me. You need me. You can't even... My phone buzzed again, a different name lighting up the screen. Adrian, Logan's best friend. 6'3", model. Absurd cheekbones, stupidly kind eyes. The guy Logan always described as untouchable and way out of everyone's league. Also the guy Logan had never let me hang out with alone. I opened the message. Adrian, just saw Logan's single again story. He's already posting. Are you okay? Of course he was posting. Logan never missed a chance to turn real life into content. My fingers flew over the keyboard. Me. He told me he could replace me in 24 hours. I told him to prove it. I'm packing my stuff. He responded instantly. Adrian, where are you going? Me. Jade's. 3 dots. Then, Adrian, don't go to Jade's. Come to mine. We need to talk. Now. I stared at the screen. Logan had always warned me about Adrian. He's a player. He only dates models and actresses. He'll flirt with you just to mess with me. He's my friend, but he's off limits. I'd always wondered why someone so off limits had been so kind. The few times we'd been in the same room, Adrian had asked me real questions, remembered details about my job, noticed when I changed my hair. Logan would glare at him, then change the subject. Now Adrian was the one asking if I was okay. Sienna. Logan snapped his fingers in front of my face. Hello? Are you seriously texting people? We're in the middle of something. I slid my phone into my pocket. No, you were in the middle of a performance. I'm done being your audience. I grabbed my suitcases and rolled them past him. If you walk out that door, don't come crawling back, he called after me. You're going to realize no one else will put up with you like I do. I paused at the door just long enough to look back. That's the point, I said. The hallway outside our apartment smelled like old carpet and someone's burnt toast. I dragged my suitcases down the stairs, heart pounding so loudly it drowned out everything else. By the time I reached the street, my phone buzzed again. Adrian, I'm serious. Come here. I have something you need to see. I stared at Logan's building one last time. The window of our apartment glowed a dull yellow. A shadow moved back and forth behind the curtains. Him, pacing, probably already drafting his first motivational single guy caption. 24 hours, I muttered. Let's see what you do with them. I called a rideshare and gave the driver Adrian's address. Adrian lived in a high-rise about 15 minutes away, the kind with a concierge desk and an actual lobby that didn't smell like feet. When I stepped out of the elevator onto his floor, my stomach twisted. What was I doing? Why did he sound so urgent? Why did Logan never want us alone together? The door opened before I could knock twice. Adrian stood there in gray sweatpants and a plain black t-shirt, barefoot, hair a little messy, like he'd been running his hands through it. No designer suit, no dramatic lighting. Just a guy who looked worried. Seeing someone look worried for me almost undid me. Sienna, he said softly, come in. I stepped past him, dragging my suitcase over polished wood floors. His apartment was nice, but not ostentatious. Plants by the window, a camera on a tripod in the corner, framed black and white photos on the walls. Before you say anything, he said, closing the door, I need to show you something I should have shown you 2 years ago. My chest tightened. What are you talking about? He pulled his phone from his pocket, scrolled for a second, then handed it to me. On the screen, a message thread with Logan. Timestamp 2022. Logan, gotta be careful, man. Sienna's getting too comfortable. Thinking about monkey branching to that lawyer chick from my gym. Adrian. Dude, that's messed up. Sienna's good to you. Logan. Good doesn't pay for Bali. She's stable enough till I find better. Plus her credit score is perfect. Just added myself to her Amex as an authorized user, LOL. My vision tunneled. I scrolled. More messages. Screenshots of Logan's dating app profile. Active the entire time we'd been exclusive. Jokes about how I'd never leave because she thinks I'm her best option. Flirty messages with his ex-girlfriend Kendra, promising to catch up properly if things ever fell through with me. Why didn't you tell me? I whispered, my voice shaking. Adrian's jaw clenched. He sank onto the arm of the couch, elbows on his knees. I tried, he said. Remember that dinner where I kept saying you deserve someone who actually saw you? Logan pulled me aside afterward and said if I ever poisoned his relationship again, he'd tell everyone I'd slept with half his clients. He had fake screenshots ready. I model for some of them. It would have wrecked my work. I swallowed, the betrayal slicing in two directions. So you stayed quiet. He looked up at me, eyes raw. I stayed quiet, and it's the biggest regret of my life. I opened my mouth to say something, anything, but he kept going. And there's something else, he said, voice dropping. Something I should have said a long time ago. My fingers tightened around his phone. I've been in love with you since the night we met, he said. I introduced myself to you at that bar, and then you turned around and kissed my best friend. I thought he'd be good for you. I thought I was doing the right thing. I was wrong. The room tilted. Behind my ribs, something shattered and something else stirred, a messy, aching mix of humiliation, anger, and the faint, dangerous warmth of being seen. My phone buzzed in my pocket. 3 times in a row. I didn't need to check to know it was Logan. Look, Adrian said quickly, holding up his hands. I'm not saying this so you'll jump into anything with me. I couldn't let you walk out of there thinking this was just about a watch. He's been planning his upgrade for years. You deserve to know that. I sank onto the couch, suitcases still by the door, his phone cold and heavy in my hand. In the span of 3 hours, I'd gone from nagging girlfriend to replaceable in 24 hours, to discovering that my almost fiancé had been treating me like a placeholder on a spreadsheet. Adrian sat a careful distance away, as if afraid to scare me off. You can have the guest room as long as you need, he said quietly. No pressure, no anything. I just want you to be somewhere safe while he burns his life down. I stared at the unread messages lighting up my phone screen in my pocket. Logan wanted to prove how easily he could replace me. For the first time, I wondered if the next 24 hours were going to show me something else entirely. How quickly a man like him could replace everyone until there was no one left who actually believed in him. Okay, I said, my voice hoarse, I'll stay. Outside, the city hummed, oblivious. Somewhere across town, a man I'd almost married was about to start the longest 24 hours of his life. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid of what came next. I didn't sleep much that first night. Adrian made up the guest room. Fresh sheets, extra blanket, glass of water on the nightstand, like he'd done this 100 times, and then left me alone. I stared at the ceiling in the dark, my mind replaying those screenshots on his phone. Stable enough until I find better. Authorized user LOL. Keeping Kendra warm just in case. Every time my eyes drifted shut, my brain jolted awake with a new memory. Logan turning my phone face down when I set it on the table. Logan calling me annoying when I asked why his Hinge app was still installed for jokes. Logan insisting I didn't get how influencers had to flirt with people online to build engagement. Around 2 a.m., I gave up on sleep and padded out to the living room. Adrian was on the couch with a blanket over his legs, the TV on mute, scrolling through something on his laptop. His head snapped up when he heard me. Hey, couldn't sleep? I sank onto the opposite end of the couch, knees drawn up. My brain won't shut up. He closed the laptop. Do you want to see something that might help? His mouth twisted. Or make you want to throw him off a bridge. Not sure which. Hit me, I said. I'm already in hell. He picked up his phone, opened Instagram, and handed it to me. Logan's story was a chaotic highlight reel of his ego. First slide, a bathroom mirror. Selfie, shirt half unbuttoned, watch front and center. Captioned, single and thriving. Taking applications. The story had gone up less than an hour after I left. I swiped. Next slide, a shot of his apartment, beer bottles on the counter, 2 guys I vaguely recognized from his office, all raising shot glasses. Caption, back on the market, boys' night starts now. Another slide, a screenshot of his DMs, names blurred, but you could see the number, +68 requests. He really loves himself, I muttered. Adrian snorted. Keep going. I swiped through the night like a detective reconstructing a crime scene. Around 10 p.m., Logan had posted from some trendy bar downtown. Neon lights, crowded dance floor, a row of drinks. Caption, where the real women at? By midnight, the videos got shakier. He'd filmed himself singing along to some sad 2000s breakup song, arms slung around a blonde woman I didn't recognize. Her face was half out of frame, but I could see just enough to know she wasn't having as much fun as he was. At 1:37 a.m., he posted a close-up of 2 glasses clinking. Caption: Upgrade secured. The last story was a shot of his hallway, a woman's back walking into the bedroom, his shadow behind her. Text over it: Told you 24 hours was generous. My stomach flipped, but not for the reason he would have wanted. There was no jealousy left, just a deep, tired ache. He really thinks this is a flex, I said softly. Adrian leaned his head back against the couch, staring at the ceiling. He thinks performing is the same thing as living. We spent the rest of the night talking. Not about Logan, mostly. About my job, his shoots, the stupidest clients we'd ever had. At some point, he pulled out a worn notebook. These are my journals, he said quietly. I'm not showing you to make this about me. I just want you to see I wasn't sitting on the sidelines enjoying the show. I hesitated, then took it. The entries weren't some grand declaration of love. They were little snapshots. June 12. Logan made a joke about her dress size in front of everyone. She laughed it off, but she stopped eating after. August 3rd. Sienna pitched a brilliant idea. Logan repeated it louder and got the credit. She smiled like she was proud of him. I wanted to flip the table. I might go, Mom. December 19th. They came to my birthday party. She brought cupcakes she baked herself. Logan complained they weren't aesthetic enough for photos. On and on. Tiny moments I'd written off as normal couple friction. On paper, they weren't small. They were a pattern. At some point around 4 a.m., my phone buzzed on the coffee table where I'd abandoned it. I picked it up. 16 notifications from Logan. 3 missed calls. A text from his mom, Diana. 2 from my own mother. I didn't open any of them. Hey, Adrian said. You don't have to read those tonight. I know, I said. I just want to see how fast he starts spinning. I opened Logan's messages. Logan. Okay, wow. You're really doing this? You walked out over a watch? This is insane. You're acting like a child. Fine. If you want to throw away 3 years, that's on you. Then a photo of him at the bar. 2 women in the blurry background. See? Told you I'd be fine. Scroll. Logan. You're at Jade's, right? She already texted me. She thinks you're being dramatic too. A lie. Jade had texted me a selfie with a bottle of wine and the caption, you plus me plus this plus trash TV equals healing. Then, at 2 a.m., where are you actually? Seriously, Sienna, answer me. You're being selfish. You know that? You're throwing your whole life away. I locked the screen. Hour 1, I said. Denial and bravado. Adrian gave a humorless smile. You haven't seen hour 12. We finally crashed as the sky started to lighten. Me in the guest room, him on the couch. When I woke up, sunlight was pouring through the blinds and my head felt thick. It was 11:08 a.m., 15 hours into Logan's self-imposed deadline. I wandered back into the living room. Adrian was at the kitchen island, making coffee in a French press. Morning, he said. You want some? Yes, please. He poured a mug and slid it toward me. You ready for the Logan show? Day 2? Not really, I said, but go ahead. He handed me his phone. Logan's story from that morning opened with a gym mirror selfie. Eyes red, hair messy, flexing his bicep. Caption, can't sleep, might as well grind. Next slide, a screenshot of his Tinder profile with a flood of matches at the top. Text overlay, quick reminder, I'm the prize. Another slide, a boomerang of 5 different dating apps on his home screen. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Raya, something I didn't even recognize. Caption, options on options. As the hours ticked by, the tone shifted. Around 2 p.m., there was a video of him at brunch with the same blonde from the night before and another woman. He panned across the table saying, when one door closes, and laughed. At 4 p.m., he posted a black screen with white text, why are relationships so hard? Followed by a poll sticker. Are modern women even capable of love? At 5 p.m., another bar, another drink. Caption, interviewing candidates for the girlfriend position. Must be low drama, high vibes. Low drama, I repeated. Says the man live streaming his rebound auditions. Adrian shook his head. The comments on those polls are brutal, by the way. I flipped to his DMs, the ones he'd sent me. Logan. Okay, you've made your point. You left. You can come home now. I already proved I could replace you, so you can stop punishing me. Replace me? With whom? The blonde who looked like she wanted an Uber more than a boyfriend? Then, an hour later, "Why are you posting with Adrian?" My thumb froze. "I didn't post anything," I said. Adrian cleared his throat. "That might be my fault." He took his phone back and opened his own story. There we were, sitting at his tiny kitchen table from the night before. 2 takeout containers, my hair in a messy bun, both of us mid-laugh. The caption read, "Good company." No hearts, no inside jokes, nothing romantic, just normal. Heat crawled up my face. "You posted that?" "I asked while you were in the bathroom," he said. "You said, sure, whatever, and I thought it might help him understand you weren't alone. If you want me to delete it, I will." I stared at the picture. I looked happy, tired, wrecked, mascara smudged, but lighter. Like someone had taken a weight off my shoulders. "No," I said slowly. "Leave it." My phone buzzed again. "Logan, are you serious right now? You're with Adrian?" Wow. "Good luck with my leftovers, bro." Another text seconds later. "You think he actually wants you? He's just using you to get back at me. You're so naive." I turned the screen toward Adrian. Hour 20. Projection and panic. Before I could mute the conversation, another message came through. "You have 4 hours to come back and fix this. After that, we're done for good." I laughed. I couldn't help it. It burst out of me in a short, sharp bark that startled even me. "He really doesn't get it," I said. "He doesn't know how to exist without an audience," Adrian replied. We let the last 4 hours tick by without watching his stories. Instead, we went for a walk around the block. The winter air stung my cheeks, but it felt good to move. I told Adrian about my childhood, about how my mom praised any man who tolerated me like it was a favor. I thought if I just loved hard enough, he'd stop making those little digs, I admitted. I thought that's what commitment meant. Choosing each other through the hard parts. "Hard parts are forgetting an anniversary," Adrian said. "Not building an exit strategy while your girlfriend is planning a future." When we got back, it was 7:26 p.m. Logan's 24 hours were up. My phone buzzed one last time. "Logan, you really did it. You chose my friend over me. You failed the test. I was seeing if you were loyal, and you couldn't even last a day. Enjoy being alone when he gets bored and leaves you like everyone else does." A second later, a follow-up. "You're going to regret this, I promise." I looked at the time. 7:27 p.m. Thursday. "I think his clock's broken," I said softly. Because as far as I can tell, the only thing that got replaced in the last 24 hours was my denial. Adrian watched me carefully. "How do you feel?" I thought about it, really thought. "Sad," I said. "Embarrassed, angry, but also free and weirdly entertained." He smiled, small and sad. "You always were better than he deserved." I set my phone face down on the table, for once, not because someone told me to, but because I wanted to. "Let him try to replace me," I said. "He can have all the applications he wants. I'm done interviewing." Outside, the city lights flickered on one by one, like a curtain of tiny stars. Somewhere across town, Logan was spinning in circles, screenshots and selfies and strangers blurring together. And for the first time since I'd met him, I realized something I should have understood years ago. It was never about whether I was replaceable. It was about the fact that he never saw anyone as irreplaceable to begin with. Logan didn't take the loss quietly. I thought the 24-hour meltdown was the peak of his drama. I was wrong. It was just the warm-up. By Friday morning, barely 12 hours after his countdown expired, Logan went nuclear. 1. The smoke before the fire. I woke to 30 notifications. Not from Logan this time. From people I barely knew. Coworkers, college acquaintances, random followers from Instagram. All sending variations of, "Are you okay? WTF, is Logan posting? Girl, please tell me this isn't true." My stomach dropped. I opened Instagram. Logan had turned his entire account into a pity party propaganda machine. First slide, a black background with dramatic white text. "Some women pretend to love you just to use you." Second slide, Logan staring out a rainy window. Where did he even get a rainy window at 1 a.m. in Seattle? Captioned, "Betrayed by the one I thought was forever." Third slide, a blurry photo of Adrian's balcony, zoomed in on our takeout containers. Caption, "Imagine leaving your man for his own best friend. Couldn't be me." Oh no, I wasn't even tagged, but it was obvious. Fourth slide, a selfie of Logan looking tired, lips parted, eyes red. "If I don't make it, I just want everyone to know I tried." I nearly choked on my coffee. Logan was fine. He once got the wrong Starbucks order and called it psychological warfare. Adrian walked into the kitchen just as I slammed my phone down. He raised an eyebrow. "Let me guess. The sad boy symphony?" He's acting like we drowned his puppy. Adrian poured me more coffee. Oh, you haven't even seen Act 2. 2. Logan invokes his mother, the final boss. My phone buzzed with a call from Diana, Logan's mom. Just let it go to voicemail, Adrian said gently. Instead, I answered, because I'm only human, and I wanted to hear the chaos. Sienna, sweetheart, Diana said, not sounding like a sweetheart. Logan is devastated. He told me he could replace me in 24 hours, I said. That's just how he expresses anxiety, she replied breezily. You know men don't mean what they say in fights. He brought a stranger home the same night. She clicked her tongue. He's grieving. Is that what we're calling it? Then she dropped the kicker. I already bought my mother of the groom dress. Don't make this about pride. Just come back and fix things. I laughed so abruptly I snorted. No, I said, I'm good. You'll never find another man like him, she warned. That's the point. I hung up. Adrian nearly spit out his coffee. Please tell me you recorded that. 3. The smear campaign begins. Logan escalated from vague posting to full-on character assassination. On Facebook, he wrote a 5-paragraph essay. Some women can't handle a real man. They choose clout over loyalty. On Instagram, she left me for my own bro. That's wild. Adrian frowned. Why is he calling me his bro? We haven't been close in years. Then Logan took screenshots of out-of-context texts between him and me. Things like, me, I need space. Me, this isn't working. Me, I need to think. And captioned it, see, I tried everything. And then he tagged me. Adrian saw it before I did and calmly removed my tag, blocked him, and put his phone down like he'd just taken out the trash. We're not feeding trolls today, he said. 4. Logan tries to ruin my livelihood. At 11 a.m., my work phone rang. Hey, Sienna, my boss said, stifling a laugh. Logan left a passionate voicemail. Oh God, I said, what did he say? He claimed you've been stealing company time for dates and creating a hostile work environment with your toxic femininity. I closed my eyes. Sir, I work from home. And you haven't been in the office in, 8 months? Correct. He chuckled. Please keep your boyfriend drama off company property, or on it. Honestly, it's entertaining. I groaned. He's not my boyfriend. Good, my boss said. You can do better. Anyway, we're not firing you for having a life. I hung up and let my head fall onto the kitchen counter with a thud. 5. Logan shows up in person. Just when I thought we'd reached peak ridiculousness, Adrian's building called. Hi, Mr. Reyes, the front desk said. There's a distressed man in the lobby claiming his property is being held hostage. Adrian and I exchanged a look. No, I whispered. No way. Adrian opened the security camera feed on his phone. And there he was, Logan. Mascara on his face. Yes, mascara. He must have used a filter. Holding a shoebox and yelling at the concierge. I need to get upstairs, he shouted. They stole my emotional support hoodie. Adrian pinched the bridge of his nose. I don't even own a hoodie. We listened to the audio feed as Logan continued. And my grandmother's ashes. Sir, the concierge said, your grandmother is alive. She picked you up last Sunday. Logan sputtered. Well, something important is in there. Adrian called down and said very calmly, do not let him up. Logan began filming himself on Instagram Live. Logan, I'm here confronting my ex who stole my future and my best friend who stole my heart. Then he panned the phone across the lobby. People stared. Security whispered into radios. Logan kept ranting. They manipulated me, gaslit me, stole my belongings, stole my manhood. The comments poured in. Tyler, 1997. Didn't you say you could replace her in 24 hours? It's been 26, bro. Girl Boss 1. Why is he crying in the club lobby? Olmeo, what? Not the emotional support. Hoodie. Security finally escorted him outside. Not arrested, just removed. His live stream caught the whole thing, including the moment he screamed, "The system is against me. This is patriarchy." Someone in the comments wrote, "Patriarchy helps men, genius." He blocked them instantly. I was speechless. Adrian wasn't. This, he said, tapping the screen, is the part where normal people stop. Logan, however, sets new records for delusion. I leaned back against the couch, exhausted and stunned. He told me I was the dramatic one, I said. Adrian placed a glass of water in my hands. You were dating a man who films himself crying over a hoodie. I let out a strangled laugh. Congratulations, he said softly. You're free. For the first time, I believed him. Logan wasn't proving I was replaceable. He was proving he couldn't keep anyone, especially himself, together. 6 months later, I had forgotten what peace felt like until I was living it. No alarms going off at 2 a.m., no smear campaigns, no dramatic monologues in my voicemail, no one threatening to replace me like I was a clearance blender at Target. Life became quiet. Steady, mine. And here's the part Logan will never understand. My life didn't fall apart without him. It began. I didn't rush into anything with Adrian. We lived like friends for a while. Friends who sometimes cooked together, who talked for hours on the couch, who started a balcony herb garden because I once said I wanted basil. He bought me a basil plant, and mint, and rosemary. Logan once bought me a gym membership he thought I needed. So, yeah, the bar was in hell. But Adrian, he didn't try to jump over the bar. He built a whole new one. We still took things slow. He slept on the couch the first week, even though I offered the guest bed. He never asked for anything, never pushed, never assumed. And somewhere between his terrible dad jokes and the way he remembered my coffee order, I realized something terrifying. I was falling for him. Not because Logan had hurt me, not because I wanted revenge, but because Adrian had cared long before any of this chaos. 2 months in, we became official. 5 months in, he moved into a larger apartment with me. 6 months in, we adopted a chubby orange cat we named Dumpling, who thinks he owns the place. Not insta-perfect, not flashy, not curated. Just real. Meanwhile, Logan's life became a rotating door of short-lived relationships. Every 2 weeks, a new post. Finally found my queen. Deleted 3 days later. Then, some women are jealous of a man with options. Then, healing from narcissistic abuse. The comments? Ruthless. User 25. Bro, she left 6 months ago. Why are you still talking about it? Lauren Slips, you said 24 hours, but it's been 400 plus hours, my guy. TikTok Sam, heal what? She just left you, lol. He started a YouTube channel. Thriving after betrayal. The first video? How to spot a future cheater. He described himself. Word for word. The top comment. So you cheated on yourself? Another. Girl, you said 24 hours. He turned off comments 1 week later. Then came the wedding. You read that correctly. He actually held a self-wedding. 12 people showed up. His mother cried. His cousin DJ'd the event. He wore a white tux. He played Thank You Next as his first dance, alone. TikTok found the video. They added the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Millions of views. Thousands of stitches. My personal favorite comment, man married himself and still won't commit. Another. Plot twist, he still cheats on himself. Remember the upgrade girl from Logan's first night of freedom? The one he bragged about securing? Yeah, she was married. Her wife, Jessica, was a creative type. The level of petty I aspire to. Jessica didn't confront him. She signed Logan up for every MLM and crypto scam in a 100-mile radius. Essential oils, body wraps, crypto mastermind groups, financial freedom webinars. His phone was drowning in messages from women saying, "Hey hun, I've been thinking about you." He blocked one, 7 more appeared. Jessica then emailed Logan's workplace screenshots of his thirst traps and IG lives during work hours. He got put on a performance improvement plan. He lasted 11 days. Fired. Adrian and I had been living together almost a year when he proposed. And he didn't do it with fireworks or rose petals or a choreographed dance number. He did it at the same farmer's market where we had our first real conversation. Just held out a simple ring and said, "I love you, and I want to be your home." I cried. Right there between organic strawberries and overpriced soap. We didn't post anything, didn't make it a spectacle. Just called our parents and a few close friends. Logan found out through LinkedIn. He spiraled again, posting motivational quotes about fake people and finding inner peace. Then something glorious happened. His sister texted Adrian, "You need to see this." Turns out Logan had told his latest girlfriend, Vanessa, that I had stolen his family heirloom ring. A 3-carat diamond passed down from his grandmother. A ring that does not exist. His grandmother is alive and owns all her rings, none of which Logan has ever seen. Vanessa believed him, until Logan demanded a replacement ring bigger than the imaginary one I stole. She confronted his sister. His sister told the truth. Vanessa dumped him on the spot. He got back on Tinder with the bio. "No time for games. My last engagement was stolen by a bitter ex." Someone commented, "Bro, she stole nothing except your peace." Exactly 24 months after Logan declared he could replace me in 24 hours, I got a text from an unknown number. "I know you'll read this. I'm getting married next month to a surgeon with a Tesla and a house in the hills. I won." I didn't reply. I looked him up anyway. The surgeon? A first-year med student named Dennis. The Tesla? A 2015 Model S with 130K miles. The house in the hills? His parents' pool house. But honestly, good for them. Maybe he'll finally learn how to love someone, or at least himself. Adrian and I are getting married next spring. Small ceremony. Close friends, family, dumpling in a bow tie, no PowerPoints, no Instagram lives in the lobby, no self-marriage required. Life isn't perfect, but it's peaceful and real and mine. Logan never failed to replace me because I was special. He failed because he never learned to see anyone as real. I was just a placeholder in his life plan, someone to hold space until he found better. He never understood that love isn't measured in options. It's measured in presence, in effort, in truth, in accountability. And he wasn't capable of any of those things. But I was, and I am. And I found someone who sees that. So, Logan, if you're still checking my socials, if you're still counting down your imaginary 24 hours, it's been 730 days. Maybe it's time to stop the clock. Because I did. And life on the other side, it's beautiful.